Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Adventures Travel Club television show. We find ourselves back in Cairo, and we're up at the Mosque of Muhammad Ali Pasha.
We have different shapes of minarets. These minarets, it takes the pencil shape, but others we have square shapes, we have circular shapes, but this is the mosque and the beautiful shape as a pencil shape. This mosque, each 5 years already, they clean and polish the mosque, because here we have mountains, Muqattam mountains. That's this area, especially it is dusty in the winter time. That's why all the mosque covered by the dust. Each 5 years they work for 1 year for cleaning all the mosque from outside and polishing it. But this is because made from a nice kind of stone, marble. That's when it is dusty, and after they clean it, nothing happens, because that's very smooth and very soft stone. This mosque built on the highest plateau of Cairo in this area, because Salah ad-Din in the 11th century and 10th century, when he came here to defend Egypt against the Crusaders by Richard Leonhard, he has choose already the highest area to make the citadel with a mountain to protect Egypt against the Crusaders, and already he succeeded to defend Egypt against Richard Leonhard, and he led him back again to the Mediterranean Sea. That's why Muhammad Ali, when he came in 1805, he has choose this area to build the mosque. This mosque built in 1830 and finished in 1845. 15 years working in this mosque, and when you will go already there and you will see from inside, you will believe how much time it takes this mosque. The all citadel is surrounding from outside by the walls and the towers. We have many towers. Back of you, here is some building. It was having something in it. When Muhammad Ali Pasha came to Egypt here, it was some problems from some people it called the Mamluk. These Mamluk people came from east, from Asia. That's why they make many difficulties for him. He want to kill them or to let them go away to Egypt, to rule Egypt in this time. That's when they came already, he invited them for a dinner party here. And after they take the dinner already, he ordered his soldiers to shoot them. Many of them already killed, and the rest of them escaped to Sudan.
I think, Betty, that would have been one dinner party that I would have foregone.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may die, and you did.
Yeah, if you went to that dinner party,
Yes,
or
sir.
like you said, some of them did escape to Sudan. So now we're going to leave this one portion of the citadel, and we're going to go up and go around the outside of the mosque. You know, this looked like it was huge from a distance, but when you got up to it, it was huge.
Yeah, there was no question about that. It went on and on and on. And, you know, the steps after a while, I get kind of hard if you do too many of them at one time. But we took it very leisurely.
Yeah, and it was not difficult at all walking around this, because we wanted to go out and take a look at the city from this viewpoint. As he said, that this is the highest point. This and the mountain that's across the highway from here are the highest points in Cairo. And for an area that has so much flat land, you wouldn't expect to see, a mountain or a hill like this, but there it was. And of course, that's where he did build this fortification.
I don't think it would be classified as a mountain, hardly, though.
Well, if you lived in Cairo, it'd be a
It would
mountain,
be
probably.
no, it'd be still a hill.
A big hill or a small mountain. Anyway.
You are just stubborn.
Yep.
right.
What we should explain is, of course, this was built in defense of when the Crusaders came from Europe and came down into the Holy Land, into Egypt. This was the defense which the Muslims had against the Christian Crusaders. So it's kind of it's kind of interesting to see both sides of this. Is when we're in the Holy Land, we can see the other side of that. And now, speaking about looking at sides, you look way off over there to the horizon, and you can barely see those tall buildings because of the amount of smog that is in Cairo.
It's really pathetic.
It is, and this is early in the morning. I mean, this was we'd had our breakfast, and then we left directly to come here to the Citadel. But you can see how much smog there is. And, of course, you know, I don't remember exactly how many cars he said there were that were coming and going into Cairo every morning, but there were a number of them.
I was always amazed, Marv, at how many cars there were, how many people had transportation like that, because there isn't a lot of wealth. There are certain, like every place else, who have the rich and the poor, but it seemed like everybody had a car.
That, or they were, you know, a lot of people were using the train, and the buses were all packed too.
And the
you know,
jitneys, those little things where they really pile them in and they're hanging out the windows. Fun.
Well, we can see this. Now, we're going to take a look down on our right-hand side, and there are two mosques that were built in the 11th century. So these mosques that we're taking a look at down there predate the one
the biggie,
that we're standing in. And also the dome there, that's been a reconstruction on the dome because that did fall during an earthquake. The dome was cracked, and it was damaged. So that dome was redone. But can you imagine that this goes back, I mean, to the 11th century?
Yeah, Marv, I don't
really
quite understand why they have so many minarets. Now I know that that's where the prayer, the Musan.
I think that's correct.
We had it for spelling class one time. But anyway, if it's for prayer purposes, why do they need so many? I don't know.
I think the answer to that may be because in the days before you had loudspeakers, when the Musan went up there and he was calling people to prayer, he probably went, if there were four of them or two of them, went up so that he could call for that part of the city so that they could hear him, you know, in that direction, in all four directions, if there were four. And when we were in Turkey, if you remember when we saw the Blue Mosque, there were four minarets up there, and they explained that was an imperial mosque. So I would imagine that is simply because they wanted the people to hear in all four areas from the mosque. So
north,
that
south, east, and west. Do you
think
remember when we were in Jordan, one of our very, very first trips? I think it was the first trip we took for Channel 49, 12 years ago. And when that noise at 4 o'clock in the morning came, gosh, everybody jumped out of bed. We had no idea what it was. So loud.
It's going to wake you up, and at that time it was
some alarm clock.
Yeah, right. Time for prayer. Now we're going to take a look at the inside.
One is the roofless, the open nave, and one is the roofed place, is the Holy of Holies for prayer. This one, it has a flotin in the middle for washing. Each Muslim should be wash before he pray 5 times a day. And we'll see inside how having that. And here we have two main entrances, but we will enter from this one, the northeast side. And here the entrance to the holy place. Here is a mihrab. What mihrab? This is a niche toward this Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Because any Muslim, when he pray, it should has the direction to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. From Egypt here, northeast side. And here 4 columns support the mosque. Inside the mosque we have the cenotaph, or the burial tomb of Muhammad Ali Pasha. Muhammad Ali Pasha built this mosque for 2 reasons. One, to be as a Muslim place for religious, for pray. The second one, to have his cenotaph inside. Already his body buried inside this mosque. Now we are going to go inside to see more about this mosque.
And now we're standing in the courtyard outside of the main part of the mosque, and of course on Fridays this mosque, all this would be filled full of people because the mosque would be overflowing. It would be filled on the inside and the outside. And of course this is where the fountain here, where you can see where the people would wash before they either go inside the mosque to make their prayers, or even on the outside here as well. It's just really quite a beautiful building, and
very intricate.
It is, isn't it? And you can see that there's so much artwork that is done here. And remember, this is just on the outside. It is really, really quite beautiful. And wait till we get on the inside. I don't know. I just thought it was spectacular. But let's listen to our guide one more time as he explains about this area.
By day, all the Muslims pray together. When it is full inside, the rest of the Muslims pray here. This is made on marble. We have the 2 high minarets, like I told you. These 2 high minarets have doors. These doors leads for the balcony to the top. When the caller for prayer go 5 times to pray, to call the Muslims. So here, now is the time of the prayer. Here, this is the Afro 10. Like I told each Muslim, it should wash 5 times a day before the prayer. Start by the right side first for 3 times, and end by left side for the 3 times. Start by the hands, and then mouth, and then the nose, and the face, and the hair, and the hands still here, and then the legs. This is 5 times. What the meaning for that? To be as a pure and clean in front of the God, because he pray in front of the God. That's why it should be clean and pure in front of the God.
This is interesting, I think, Betty, that these particular minarets, and we traveled through, remember traveling through Turkey, we saw a lot of different types of round ones, square ones, different types, and depending upon how the building was constructed. Okay, now here we are inside the mosque, and this is the central dome that you can see. And we're going to give you plenty of time to enjoy and look at this. And you see that there's even stained glass windows up on some of the other domes there. It's just really a magnificent building,
and
isn't it?
of course, it's been electrified, so that the light that you see now wasn't the same that it was in the time that the mosque was
Not in the
used.
13th century.
No,
Yeah.
hardly. But I would imagine, Marv, that even then they didn't use candles. They must have used the oil that would be so readily available.
I think oil lamps were, I
They-
think that
they
was
think.
probably what was used
And
during
it's
that time.
surprising that with the use of the lamps, that it didn't destroy all of the things that we're looking at now. You know, the smoke from the oil.
Mhm.
Of course, I know that's been redone, but
It's probably been recleaned, like he was saying,
Yeah.
they were cleaning the outside of the building as well. And you can see with all the smog in the city that we just took a look at a little bit ago, that that would probably have a detrimental effect on the outside of the building, on the marble and the other building materials that they use there. But this is really something. I have to tell you, everybody talks about the Blue Mosque in Istanbul, but I think that this one probably, at least in my estimation, outdid it.
oh yeah, I agree with you. Oh, I just think this was stupendous. I really didn't think there was a basis of comparison between these two.
And I think the thing too is that this mosque is, of course, is used. I mean, continually so, and it evidently has been used since the 13th century. But and the niche that he was talking about, facing in the direction of Mecca, is where the leader who leads the prayers will stand and face that direction, and then all of the people that are praying, of course, line up behind him and will be praying in that direction as well. This is absolutely marvelous. The workmanship
The
that we can
artwork,
see here,
yes.
it's really incredible.
It just keeps you thinking all the time, how did they do it? They didn't have all of the instruments. They didn't have the ways of doing things the way we have today. And yet, look at how it turns out. Look at how, really. And I think that when we showed it just a little bit ago, where the I was going to say preacher. What do you call
the person that leads
that leads the prayers and stuff? That they have a wonderful flight of stairs that they
you
go up.
can see there on the right-hand side.
Yes, there it is on the right-hand side, and it's very ornate too.
In fact, actually, there were 2 of them in this mosque. That's what I couldn't figure out. There's one there, you see the middle,
In the
and then
back,
over
right,
here
uh-huh.
on the right-hand side that seems to go up a little bit higher. And he did not explain that to us, or if he did explain it, I was off with the camera taking pictures.
Yeah, but I can't always get the explanation. I would have stayed with him, but I don't always get what he says.
No, it looks like you're a little tired there, Betty, just yawning.
Yeah, but you know what? I complain a little bit about not being able to understand him too well, and then I think, how dare I? This man is speaking English.
Right.
Could I speak his language?
How good is your Arabic?
Yes, right. I mean, this is a really bad thing to do to.
Well, the thing is, I think, and no, I thought he was very
did
good.
a fine job.
And there were certain words, of course, in English that he was pronouncing maybe a little bit different than we would, but you can understand. You kind of tune your ear to that a little bit, and you can give yourself a little patience in doing that.
Especially as time goes on, you kind of get into the swing of it.
And I think we find that in most any country that we go to. And of course, we are the foreigners, and we're very grateful that that they are speaking in our language so that we can understand them.
Do you notice that chandelier?
Yeah, there were a couple of others in there too.
My.
They're just incredible, just incredible.
Just the weight alone of getting them up there, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. And then to see too on the floor, which we didn't. Here's another chandelier over here, which we see, of course, in all the mosques. The floors are all carpeted, and you are asked to take your shoes off so that you will keep the carpets clean. Now, this is the area over which Muhammad Ali Pasha was buried. And we see when we're going to take a look inside, and we see what looks like to be a tomb. But from my understanding of Islam, when a person dies, they are buried actually in the ground. So I think that he probably was buried in the ground, and this is built above it. And you see the turban way up there on top of the monument there at his burial place. And remember, also we saw that in Turkey as well.
Is that the significance of that?
I don't know.
I wondered if they had perhaps a rank or
could have been.
Okay.
And anyway, we see, and again, you can see these beautiful lights that are here, and now you can see a little bit more. And those carpets were beautiful, weren't they, Betty?
Oh yes, that's why you take the shoes off. I'm sure they wouldn't be there if they didn't take your shoes off.
That's true. And this is again another shot of the outside and one of the minarets that we see. And you can see there's a lot of marble, as you stated before, that it used in the mosque here. But that was quite something. I'd been to Cairo 2 times, and the first time we didn't get a chance to go up there, but I was delighted that we were able to go to the Citadel this time. It was really quite something. We're going to head now down the hill or the mountain, whichever you want to call it, and we're going to head toward the old city of Cairo. Now, in the old city of Cairo, there are located in that area, there's an old synagogue which has been restored, and there are also 2 churches, the Hanging Church, and then another church built over the area where it is believed that tradition says that the Holy Family, when they left
Jerusalem.
I want to say Jerusalem. Actually, they actually left Bethlehem, though, didn't they? Yeah. To come to Egypt, and so we won't see that one church in this particular program because we don't have enough time, but we will see it in our next program. We're going to go to now what is called the Hanging Church, and you can probably see by the scenery here we have entered the old city of Cairo.
Such a contrast.
Yes, it certainly is. And this is an old fortification. Our guide's going to explain to us a little bit about this. Now, we should explain that these are Christian churches. This is a Coptic church. And we're going to go inside. It's quite a nice little complex here, but let's listen now to his explanation.
This is called the Fortresses of Babylon. The Fortresses of Babylon is built here already as a sign of the protection of the Coptic churches here. It was the original height of 13 meters, built as a Greek-Roman style. 3 reddish rows of bricks and 3 or 5 white rows of bricks. This is the Greek-Roman style. Even the windows made like niches already. The church which we are going to visit now, which is called the Hanging Church, built over 2 high towers, not built on the ground level, but built on the 2 high towers, each one 13 meters high. That's why this one of the beautiful churches we have. It dates for the 4th century. What we are going to see is the hanging or the suspension church. 3 reddish rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white and 3, and then 5 and 3. This is all the Greek-Roman style. Here, I told the Coptic. Coptic means different language, means different art than the Islamic, than the Quranic. Coptic means Christians of Egypt. And Egypt, from the 1st century to the 6th century, it was called Coptic because it only Christian in Egypt here, no Islam. Islam came already in 640. But when I mean Coptic, from 1st century to 6th century, I mean every Egyptian. But from 640, Coptic is the Christians and then the Islam. Here is a Coptic writing. This is a Coptic design and Coptic writing here, and here Arabic. What written here, I am not specialized in the Coptic art, but I can let you know what written here because already translated by Arabic. Here, this place is called Sabil. What Sabil? As usual, in the time of the Coptic and Islam, it wasn't water. There are no water in the houses. The people come to the church to have the water from this Sabil. Somebody stand behind this window and just put the cup. The people come and give them the water from here, from these two openings. Here says, who will drink from this water, he will never be thirsty, because this water from the church. Who will drink this water, he will never be thirsty. That's written by Coptic language and by Arabic language. And here all the Coptic design is made from marble, but different marble than the Islamic. This is another different marble. Now we'll go for the church, please. From here to have a look, please. I would like to show you first the Coptic art from here. Art. Here is the Coptic design and the Coptic art. Here the decoration and design, it depends on the floral and geometrical shape. Floral and geometrical shape. Here we have two columns attached to the body of the church. Here only the walls, but the church already, like I told, higher than this level. Here we have the facade or the gate. The door have the niche and have some nice decoration. This decoration is a Coptic design, and you can see some verses from the Bible written on the gate. What these verses say, what this word is: knock the door will open for you. Ask God, the God will give you.
Ask and you shall.
Yeah. We go away, please, and we'll knock the doors.
Hello.
From here you can see how it looks. The church is a higher level than the ground. We are on the ground level now, but this is as a higher level on the ground, about 13 meters. This church built over 2 high towers, each one 13 meters, built on the foundation and some palm leaves. They carry this church. We have 2 nice palm trees. These 2 palm trees, it has a story already. When Maria and Joseph, they came here escaping from the king of Jewish, they stayed some time in this area and they feel hungry and they would like to eat. That's why we have a thought that they have eaten date from those palm trees. But not maybe from not the same, but from the same location. They have eaten date from those palm trees. Now we will go there to see more about the church. This is church already many restoration happened. Many restoration. It isn't like we have in the same time, but because all this area already burned, fire happened in 17th century in the Fustat. The last restoration happened in the era of recent time President Hosni Mubarak. In 1989, he made some restoration for this church, and we still work inside for more cleaning. But what we are going to see is the fabulous, the most and the finest church we have, the hanging church. This way. Reason. When we have been in the mosque of Muhammad Ali Pasha, it made from marble. And here made from marble, but different kinds than the other marble. The other marble is a beige color or a cream color. This marble is a darkish black. Take the black color. This is the Coptic. This is used by the Coptic only, not by the Islamic. And here we have the Coptic capital. This is the Coptic capital, has a floral shape. Here we have the cross surrounding by the circle. You can tell me what the symbolize of that?
Unity of God.
Pardon, sir?
Unity.
No.
No?
The cross surrounding by this circle, it has a meaning already. And here is a fire. I tell you what,
The spirit.
the persecution of the Roman against the Christians of the Egypt, the Coptic of Egypt. It was a torturing of the Roman. The Roman, the Christians or the Coptic of Egypt, they would like to say we were surrounding by this Roman. There was many problems from them against us. That's the meaning. Here we have 24 steps, leads for the main building of the church. This church is dated for the 4th century.
No ramp for the handicapped.
From the middle here, we have the cross, we have some verses here from the Bible. The two sides, one leads for the school, the second door. We have a school in the second door for it's called Sunday school. It is still work for teaching the children. They come in Sundays and they teach them here. Here, this is the main entrance, but we will go from this entrance now, because many changing happened in this church. This church already had the problem, the fire which happened in all for start, many restoration and many changing happened, but we still have a lot of antiques. This is the most and the best beautiful one, because we found about 110 icons. 110 icons. The oldest one it dates for 8th century. We will see that inside.
Mary and Joseph.
Happy New Year. Our, ladies and gentlemen, is an antique one, is a real one, without restoration. As usual, here in this church, they use ebony wood, and they inlaid the ebony with the ivory. Here we have the ivory. You can see the ivory, all the crosses and all the decoration inlaid ivory with the ebony wood. This is the original one. We have many restoration happen, and you will see the difference between the original ones and the new one which restored. Here we have the aflotane, real aflotane, made from marble. And this is without any restoration. When we found it like that. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 marble columns.
Well, we still haven't gotten inside the church, but just in the inner courtyards, and it's quite interesting what we can see here. The inside of the church was rather dark, as I recall. We're going to take a look at it in our next episode, though. But here you can see the journey of the Holy Family as they fled into Egypt. And the little green line is supposed to represent where they traveled and how they traveled into Egypt. And we'll hear more about that on the next adventure of Adventures Travel Club television show. But to me, this was interesting because I didn't know the history of this and that they knew exactly where the Holy Family went. But we'll find out, as we say, in our next episode a little bit more about that. Anyway, we've got a lot more to see while we are here in Cairo. But we should remind everybody that we still have trips coming up, and if you're interested, give Betty a call at
488-7443.
And we will see you next time. That's it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.